Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy B Stacking here, back with another video. And today we are going to dive into some tips and tricks on how to win domination, how to get 3 stars on Hall of Fame without it being super sweaty. So I'm going to cover that with you guys today. Not going to go into news on what dropped today or what's transpired in the past week or so, but just keep in mind, we've got locker codes at the bottom of the video scrolling. These are all the active locker codes. Just checked them right before recording this video, so they are active. If you haven't put in all the locker codes and taken advantage of all the free stuff that 2K's putting out there, hey, throw those locker codes in there. And if you didn't watch my first video, please download the My Team application, whether you're on an iPhone or whether you're on an Android device. You can search in the Play Store or in the App Store, search for My Team, and it's made by the developer Last Dunk. So I would suggest putting in Last Dunk, especially on an iOS device. I have both. It was kind of hard to find on iOS, but it is in there. So they put in all the locker codes in there, so it's easy to see what locker codes are active, which ones you've already redeemed, and so on and so forth. But for today's purposes, we're going to dive right in to domination. I'm going to give you guys those tips and tricks, the things that have worked for me. I have not completed domination yet, but I'm well on my way. So let's dive right in there, and I'll show you guys some tips and tricks. So with domination, I think the first thing that we have to focus on is the team makeup. The team makeup is super important. So I'm going to show you guys the team that I'm rocking with here for domination. The squad that I'm rocking with, I had some XP to get done and those types of things. So I've got Tyrese Halliburton. I might keep Tyrese Halliburton in there, although I do like the De'Aaron Fox a little bit better. But the key is to have a little bit of a taller point guard that has really good defensive stats. Obviously, you want to be able to hit some wide open shots with them if necessary, or even just score up on wheel. But realistically, you really want to have a bigger point guard so you can play solid defense right at the half court line. I'm going to tell you right now, just off the jump, if you came here for offensive tips, there's really only going to be 1 or 2. The biggest key in winning these domination games is on the defensive end. And there's no joke about it. It's going to be defense. I've proven this to myself time and time again that this is a defensive approach. Yes, you're going to put up a lot of points, but defense is what's going to win you these games. So I got Tyrese Halliburton. This is a really good card. If you do not have this card, I'm just going to show you here real quick. He's a 6'5" point guard. He is a diamond, but here's the nice thing about it. He's got a 94 3 ball, and he has 25 Hall of Fame badges. And he's got 28 gold badges as well. So even though he is technically a diamond in the game because he's a 94, that's really not a realistic rating for him. This card is a beast. I think right now in the auction house you can get him for under 10,000 MT. So I would highly suggest picking him up. The next 2 spots, so for your shooting guard and your small forward, I would highly suggest having players that are defensive, highly have high stats in the defensive rating categories, and also you can hit wide open shots. These are going to be your guys that are sitting in the corners when you drive to the cup, and so you'll be able to dish out to them. You want to be able to hit open shots at any given time, so make sure you're comfortable with their release. And then at power forward, get somebody that's dynamic. I'm rocking with Pink Diamond Giannis. But if you're lucky enough to have KG, or if you want to throw D-Rob in there, if you grinded for D-Rob last season, really you could put any card here. But the key is you want them to be quick enough to get to the cup. You want them to be dynamic enough to finish inside baskets, grab boards, and also play really good defense on the other end of the floor. And then I will tell you, this position right here might be the most important. And the reason I say that is because in this year's domination, if you haven't started or if you're struggling with it or whatever may have you, you either didn't notice or you have noticed that rebounds and putbacks are a big benefit for the CPU in this season's domination. So you need to have a big body that can play significant defense, block shots, get rebounds like crazy, and not be moved around in the paint. And this is why I don't necessarily suggest playing Giannis at your center. I know many people do that, but I would not suggest that for domination for that reason alone, that you need somebody that's a massive body that cannot be moved. Giannis is phenomenal. He can play center, but when you're going against Shaq or you're going against Wilt, it's a little bit of a problem. So I would highly suggest picking up Mark Eaton. Right now you can get him for around, I think, 10 to 20K. He is worth way more than that, but because he's a pink diamond, his value in the marketplace is going to be a little bit lower given the cards that are on the market. The other thing you want to focus on is just have some backup players that you're comfortable with. Like I said, I've got De'Aaron Fox in here because he's typically the main one that I rock with here in domination at the point guard position, because he's so damn fast and can get to the cup, and really he can punch on anybody. So and then I've got MJ because he's so dynamic, and I've got D-Rob and Steve Nash there in the instance somebody gets injured, or if I need to just throw in a little bit of a change of pace in there. But this is why this is important, the team component. Not only is the makeup of the players super important, but your coach is super important. So if you remember, I'm going to pull this back up here real quick. If you remember, Tyrese Halliburton has a 94 3 ball. That's pretty good in most scenarios. But if you look at my Ray Allen has a 99 3 ball, because I've got a shoe on him, and so he's got a 99 3 ball. So and many of the cards that are out there now are going to have that kind of high 90s 3 ball. Well, here's the nice thing: if you go out and you get a solid coach, I just picked up Nick Nurse the other day. I picked him up for around 50K. So that's why my MT is a little bit lower. I try to keep it around 100K, but I'm a little lower because I made some acquisitions for XP and picked up Nick Nurse. And I'm going to hold on to some of these players. I'm going to hold on to Tyrese Halliburton because he's a solid card at a diamond, at the diamond category. So anyway, Nick Nurse gives you +5 in many categories that matter. So he's a balanced coach, so you get offensive stats and you get defensive stats. In the sense of Tyrese, Ray, and Jerry Sloan, you get +5 in one of the significant categories, which is the 3 ball. So Jerry Sloan and Ray don't really need it because their 3 ball is super high. But in the sense of a Tyrese Halliburton, his 3 ball is now technically a 95 because of the coaching attribute. So you want to have a solid coach. I would suggest a Nick Nurse. There's some others out there, but Nick Nurse is, I would say, is the best one to go and get if you're not trying to spend out the wazoo. He's kind of rare on the market. I think when I was purchasing them the other day, there was like 3 or 4 of them on the market. So look out for them and try to find a good deal. The other ones that were on the market, I'll be honest with you, they were going for probably around like 60 or 70K. I got lucky because it was late, or technically it was early. It was probably about 1 a.m. When I ended up snatching them up. And so I'm guessing just people weren't very active on the market. So get you a good coach. That changes a lot. Oh, and actually, before I actually jump into a domination game, the key is on the inside, in the paint, and on the defensive end. Look at this. You get Giannis with +5 rebound, +5 perimeter defense, +5 obviously from a scoring perspective, rebounds, and then with Mark Eaton, you get those same things as well. So you're getting a significant boost with a coach like Nick Nurse that's going to change the way that your players play on the court. So let's jump right into a domination game real quick. I'll show you some of the settings that I set up. I do change not triple threat. I do change the settings as soon as I jump into the game. From a defensive perspective, and I make one offensive change. So we're jumping in here, Hall of Fame difficulty. I'm not going to play through this game right now, but I'll show you that I'm using that lineup just so you can see. We've got some contracts to acquire, so let's do that here real quick. And originally I was gonna kick this video out with a whole bunch of footage from the first set of the domination games. I decided not to do that. It was taking a ton of time to put all that together, and it just wasn't going to be beneficial. So the key here is going to be, like I said, just going to be on the defensive end. If you guys want to see clips from from the videos. More than happy to bring that to light to you guys. More than happy to put that together. But it's been roughly about a week, maybe a week and a half since my very first video, and I just don't like that. I want to put out quality content for you guys. I want to make sure this is in your hands, and you can utilize this as necessary. So let's dive right in here. So I go into the game plan and defensive settings. I always switch this back and forth because sometimes it automatically changes to automatic and drives me crazy. But I do my on-ball pressure on tight. I do my off-ball pressure on tight. On screens, I do go over, go under. You guys have seen this, I'm sure, from other YouTubers out there. And then drive rules, I set to no help. Many will tell you you don't need to make these changes. I wouldn't necessarily say not to make these changes. I think you should get in the habit of making these changes. It just makes your defensive, it makes you better on the defensive end. So I would make these changes regardless if you need to or not. Just get in the habit of doing so. It will make your life better. And then I typically take a look at the roster. So I take a look at the rosters to see if there are any matchups where I'm going to be at a disadvantage. For instance, if you have a super tall point guard that is dynamic, you want to go ahead and position your best defender on him. So in my case, I would typically probably throw MJ in here and put him on that point guard. That way I can have some very, very good defense on him, and get some nice height on him as well without sacrificing in other areas. So you can make some adjustments in terms of defensive matchups that can change some things for you if you do have a tough matchup, you know, in these domination games. So that's going to be key. There's nothing we need to do there in this game. And then offensive settings, the only thing I would suggest is going into freelance and turning on Bucks 2018. Many people will say go ahead and turn on Hawks 2018. I'm not a big fan of that. I like Bucks 2018. I'm going to give you one reason why once we jump into the game. So let's go ahead and jump in. Let's get this started real quick. The key here, again, I will stress it time and time again, is going to be defense. Defense is going to be key. I don't know why it's not letting me skip this. Defense is going to be key in this because you're going to be able to score. If you know how to hit shots, if you know how to get to the rim, you're going to be able to score. There's zero question about that. The question is, are you going to be able to outscore the opponent? And that's where the defense piece comes into play. The idea that defense wins championships is a real thing. So first things first, since we're on offense here, I'm going to go ahead, hit left on the D-pad, pull up our playbook, and hit quick ISO. The nice thing about this Bucks 2018 playbook is it gives you a full 5 out with this Bucks 2018 playbook. So if you have a player like a Giannis, you can do exactly that and destroy whoever is on the defensive end. You can do that time and time again. Here on the offensive end. Here on the defensive end, everything you do should be on ball defense. Close all gaps. If you need to give up 2 points, give up 2 points, but close the gap. Don't be scared to play on ball defense. I know many out there will say you need to play off ball, play with your center, so on and so forth. No, do not do that in these domination games. I will tell you, you will be playing sweaty games time and time again. So play on ball and contest every 3-pointer. The other thing you need to do is exactly that. Run pick and roll every single time. Run pick and roll. If you have the lane like I just did there, now I probably should have kicked that because they were converging, but I decided to take the dunk anyway. So, you know, but in those situations, if they converge, kick, hit the 3. If not, take the bucket, right? Don't try to force 3s up. Don't try to do these things. Like I said, you are going to want to play on ball defense. Pick them up at half court. Put pressure on. You'll get a lot of steals, and you'll like I said, you'll be able to turn the ball over and limit them to their points. So like I said, here we are. Go ahead and dish that. Mark Eaton is a beast in the paint. Buckets, right? So I'm not going to go through this whole game, but those are the tips that I would give you here. Let me go ahead and quit this. I'll play this game later. I'm not going to do this during the video. But those are the tips that I'm going to give you for domination, right? The key is going to be defense. Defense, defense, defense. It's super, super important for you to play defense in these games. On ball defense, pressure, pressure, pressure. If you're going against somebody like Vince Carter, I'm telling you right now, Vince Carter will destroy you if you do not play on ball defense. He will swack 3s all day long in your CPU's face, and there's nothing you can do about it. Only thing you can do is play on ball defense. If you have a big body in the middle, they will snack on rebounds all day long. Like I said, get a Mark Eaton. If you need to pick up Giannis, Pink Diamond Giannis is very, very cheap right now because he's got the Opal out there. So go ahead and look to acquire some of these cards if you do have the MT. Get you a good coach, put a solid lineup together with a solid point guard that can play defense, get you 2 players that you can hit buckets with at any given time, and get you some paint defenders, and you will be in a really, really good spot to win these games by 15, 20, or 30 plus points. The last game, this Lakers game that I played in the Mystery Set 2, that game I won. I want to say I kept them under 30 points because of defense. So you're going to hit open shots, and when you're not, run that ISO play so you can make sure you're consistently getting buckets. All right. So take what the defense gives you. Play real basketball. Don't try to just shoot threes all day long. I know there's many YouTubers out there that will tell you shoot threes, shoot threes, shoot threes. Look, I'm a basketball connoisseur. I will tell you just play real basketball. You'll be good. Get the locker codes below. If you like the video, hit that subscribe button and share with a friend if you found this information valuable. Obviously, it's my second video, looking to grow the channel as quickly as possible, but want to make sure I'm giving you guys as much good content as I can. So that being said, please comment below. Let me know what you're working on here. Are you grinding for JR? Are you pissed off that people got locker codes for a free Tyronn Lue and got a free JR Smith without having to go through the grind? Let me know what you're feeling, what you're going through, all those types of things. Again, like the video if you like the video, click subscribe, share with a friend, and until next time, I'm out.